Hey, what's happening, everybody? Good morning. It is Robert Phoenix, and I am back once again here with 15 minutes of flame beneath the frozen tundra of the state of Texas. Let's do a quick temperature. Hey, calm down. Jasper's going after the birds. Let's see what we have here today in terms of it is a balmy 12 degrees right now. And we've got a 1% chance of precipitation. But apparently we might actually get some more snow. And that would be, it would be kind of sleety rain on Thursday night, Wednesday evening, Thursday morning. Wednesday, a low of 21. Tomorrow, we're going to have, I think, a fair amount of this snow burn off. Partly cloudy, 42 degrees. Then it's going to revert back to sub-freezing at 33 on Thursday. And then from Friday on, we are galloping into the beginning of the spring equinox. Good morning. If you're watching this, there's probably a pretty good chance, unless you live in Florida or California or maybe Arizona, that your part of the world is under ice. And of course, they're blaming this on the fact that there's no Green New Deal in place, which is utterly fucking ridiculous. The people who have been indoctrinated into postmodernism, intersectionality, critical race theory, social Marxist ideology, they will never fail to use a crisis so that they can advance their agenda. I'll give you an example. They have rebranded Karens. Now, Karens are the anti-mask people. They're the anti-mask people. Whereas it used to be the Karens were the mask people. And the whole Karen thing, by the way, is a psychological operation. That was started. That was created. And it started with that woman with her dog in New York City. And that fake-ass confrontation with the black dude in the park. That's how it all started. And it was manufactured. You could just tell it was manufactured. It's like, let's create this new meme. Let's do this thing so that we can shame white middle-class women into not behaving like this. It's exactly what it was about. It's exactly what this world is, just absolutely laced with manipulation. Look at Jasper, man. He is stalking these birds. I don't have my camera hooked up to my computer right now. If I did, I'd show you. Oh, look who's here. He's back. Yes, he's back. After being, unfortunately, boxed in his closet in the hallway closet, where he spent Sunday night. He spent Sunday night in the hallway closet. It was not out of punishment, Jasper. It was because you snuck in there, and I just shut the door. That's how it works. Yeah, I know. Yeah, there he is. You're a good guy. You are. You are. I was watching this video the other day on YouTube, and it was this young woman who I think was mildly attractive. Actually, I'll be up front. She was very attractive. Young. I would say maybe 20 at the most. And she had a cat on her lap. Actually, she was laying down and the cat was next to her. And the video, it's like just like this. It's just like this. The video consisted of her petting her cat. And then when she stopped, the cat pawed her. And every time she stopped, the cat would paw her. That video got 5 million views. 5 million views for her with her cat, basically bugging her to keep stroking. I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to indulge in any innuendo. It's too early this morning. But I mean, I think part of the reason why it was such a successful video is because she was an attractive young woman. I think that's got to be part of it. Don't you think? Don't you, Jasper? Oh yeah, there's your buddies. There's your buddies, the fat cardinals. Getting a lot of that bird seed. All right, let's see who's here. Let's see who's here. Here we go. Let's do a little roll call. There's Michael Pafford. Good morning, Michael. There's Papa Steve. What's going on, Papa Steve? Good to see you. PB, Philip, look at that. Wichita representing back-to-back in the house. Mia Wijigo Catacorn. Good to see you. And we've got the man, David. David, I bet you're busy with all this inclement weather and having to deal with all the havoc with the traffic. Thomas T. Jordan, what's going on? Good to see you. Let's see. Anyone follows Zachary K. Hubbard gematria effect? Last year, he was covering the possibility of blackouts in the winter. I didn't think it would be Texas, though. Let's see. Lisa Marie in the house. What's going on, Lisa? Good to see you. Let's see. Susie Escobar. Morning, Susie. Craig Corcoran's here. Susan Cano. Susan, thank you for subscribing. I appreciate that. Very, very kind of you. Let's see who else we have here. Iri Nagasaka, good morning. 6:45 on time, attending from Vancouver. All right. One of my favorite cities in the world, by the way. I love Vancouver. Whenever I lived in Seattle, I've talked about this before. When I lived in Seattle, every time I would cross the border, I would just feel all this weight just get lifted off of me. It was incredible. It was an incredible feeling. And it was amazing. It was like I just crossed this border and all this psychic gravity would just lift. And I was like, wow, this feels tremendous. This feels tremendous, right? It's kind of like you when you get on here and all your psychic gravity just lifts so you can be completely present. I used to love going to Vancouver. In fact, one of my favorite sort of experiences in my life. And it sounds mundane, but it was great. I was living in Seattle, and I was going through my Saturn return, and my wife, my first wife, because I was married twice, she wound up leaving because I was going through hell. I was living in Seattle, and I was waiting on tables. It was not a great time. I was not having a great time, even though it was interesting. I got published in Pacific Northwest Magazine for a couple of stories. And I should have been grateful for that, but I was just so sort of down in my Saturn return. I was kind of miserable to be around. And you know what? I probably would have left me too, just to be honest. Although there are those vows where you are supposed to stay with one another until blah, blah, blah. It is what it is, right? It is what it is. But so I think like November. It was later than that. It was later than, I think it was like February of 19. This was February of 1990. I think it was February of 1990, right around there. Anyway, I drove to. It was a little bit later. I think it was like March of 1990. I drove to Vancouver by myself, and I had tickets to go see David Bowie at P&E, which is a big stadium. So I was there for a couple of days, and it was great. I loved it. I rented a bike. I rode all around town. I went to Stanley Park, rode my bike all around Stanley Park. And I found this great udon place, this great udon house in Vancouver. Bowie was fantastic. I sold a couple tickets, made some extra money. It was a great time. Love Vancouver. Great city. Okay, what else do we have here? Let's Let's see. Where did we leave off? We got a pretty full house today. Going all the way back. Okay, who else do we have? There's Lynn. What's going on, Lynn? Good to see you. Great news of red light therapy and COVID. The lovely and talented Jonas. There's my man, Snake Jones. Good to see you, Snake. And recovering nicely. Snake and I had a really good conversation last week. Ryan in the house. What's going on, Ryan? Back to back. Look at that. Pennsylvania representing Ryan and Jacqueline. Good to see you. W.C. Ray. There you go. Ian Barber. What's going on, Ian? Alien Answer. The extraterrestrial question. Good morning to you. Ani Brito, the wench with the wrench. Nice to see you, Ani. Mimi is here. Renee, what's going on, Renee? FUP 77, Paulette Hanson. 16 degrees above zero at 7,500 elevation, Colorado Western Slope. Oh, Ryan fractured his wrist. Ooh, sorry to hear that. And if you know Ryan, he's a woodworker. And the wrist is one of those things, along with the ankle, one of the most complex joints in the human body. So fracturing one's wrist or one's ankle could be very serious in terms of healing, functionality, all that stuff. Ryan, we hope you get better fast. There's a lot of, really talented healers in that chat. I'm sure they may have some suggestions on how to accelerate that process, and I'm sure you do as well. Uncle Glenn, no global warming. Did you know that it's climate change? Lisa Dawn, T. Seguin, good morning. Tina Zurin, yay, lovely here in Michigan. P. Kell, hello, Robert. Serious chemtrail spraying going on all over the U.S. Well, I think that's contributed to what we're seeing here with the silent weapons for a quiet war, the weather assault upon North America and other parts of the world as well. Son of Lori Saul, good morning. Holden Wisco. Double V's here. Kurt Judkins bragging. Minus 20 in Minnesota. Kurt, that's serious. That is totally serious. Much easier to navigate in snow than ice. Well, we've had some freezing conditions overnight, so I would assume that the streets here and the highways are going to be absolutely treacherous. I haven't left the house. Well, I did leave the house yesterday because I took a little videotape of the conditions outside. Nancy Harding's here. Morning, Nancy. Frank Bry, checking in from Idaho. Beth Berry, SoCal. Let's see. Thank goodness I'm in Florida. H. Suttles in the house. Good to see you. Sandy, we didn't get our ice last night. Just light rain here in southeastern Pennsylvania. Sandy, MI. Okay, who else do we have? We can be warm again if we eat Gates's brand bug meat. I know. Now Bill Gates wants to have synthetic meat for everybody. I mean, these people are just a fucking cliche. They're one cliche after another. It's crazy. It's nuts. And guess what? There are people that will eat the cliche like it's communion. Oh yes, we must do that. We must do that. We must do that. Yes, we must. We must. Let's eat some synthetic meat. It's for the good of the planet. It's for the good of the planet. Yeah, we won't be actually having children. We won't be breeding kids because Bill Gates' vaccine will sterilize us. We won't have any kind of intimacy because we're all walking around wearing masks and social distancing. But for the good of the planet, let's do it anyway. what good is the good of the planet if you're not going to have children, you're not going to have families, and you're not going to continue to contribute to the analog domain? What good is it? What good is it? Well, we understand and we know what good it is. It's serving somebody else's purposes, ends, and means. And they've managed to create a massive virtue signal around all of this, all of it. From climate change to synthetic meat, to the diet, to intersectionality, to critical race theory. These are they're the pillars of a new faith, a new religion. And trust me, this new religion has plenty of fervent believers. In fact, it almost attains a cult-like status. And that's why people, in a lot of ways, behave the way they do. Look, I've brought this up before. There's a person. I'm not going to identify their gender, although I almost did. There's a person who has watched this show and has a philosophical kind of buy-in to some of these ideas that we talk about here. Said person is a vegan. And look, if you're a vegan, and it works for you, fine. I am not here to push my carnivorous philosophy upon you. I don't do that. I'm not telling you to go out and eat some meat. That's not what I do. It's like, you do what you do, I do what I do. If it works for you, great. But this person, it's like, I've told this person to leave this, meat thing with me alone. And they don't listen. They don't listen. They continue to come at me. And I had to block this person. I don't even know how they got back into my phone. I don't know how they did that, because I thought I blocked them before. I was like overdone, like months ago. And it's like, your third eye is not going to open unless you become a vegan, unless you stop eating the animals. Look, I tried to be a vegetarian. I gave it a really good go back in the 90s. I ate good food. I had supplements. And for about 2 weeks, I felt great. It was like my system got a break. It was like, wow, this is good. I feel really good. And then after that, the returns became more and more diminishing. I wasn't getting the full vibrancy of that first kind of, the detox and having your system get a rest with certain types of digestion. After that, I went kind of slowly downhill and didn't have a lot of energy. I was cold. And it wasn't until, I've told this story before, it wasn't until I got that reading with Dr. Louis Turry, the reincarnation of Nostradamus. I will give him this, though. He did nail the meat thing. And what he did, this is how he cast charts. He would take a blank wheel, he would look at an ephemeris, and you'd find out where your true node was. And he'd put the true node right on your ascendant, whatever sign. And he'd put the south node on your descendant. And then all your other planets, he would look up, he said, oh, okay, well, this is where this is going to be, this is where this is going to be. He'd draw them into the blank wheel. So this is how he did reading. This is all pre-computer. I mean, there were computer programs, but this is how this is, according to him, how Nostradamus cast charts, which he probably did, because a lot of people didn't really know the time that they were born. But they did have an ephemeris. He did have an ephemeris, and he knew where the nodes were. So this is how he cast the charts. Anyway, Mars in that system is in the 10th house, which ironically is the same configuration for me being here in Texas with my relocated chart. So he said to me, oh, you have Mars. You have Mars in the 10th house. You need meat. You need meat. I'm like, oh, really? Wow, cool. Great. I had a cheeseburger that night. It changed my life. Never looked back. Got my vitality back. Got my energy back. And again, I've said this before. How do you explain the diet of quote unquote Aborigines who live in an area where you can't grow shit? You cannot grow your organic wonder crops in the outback. You can't do it. What do? You get some berries, you get some roots, you get some wallaby, kookaburra, whatever. This is a group of people who are true hunter and gatherers, although the urban version of the Aboriginal culture, I'm sure, may have gone into veganism. I don't know. I did hang out with a couple of Aborigine didgeridoo players around Stephen Kent, and they had the worst fucking diet. They had a bad diet. Like these guys, I remember I took them to a barbecue place, and they loved it, man. They loved it. They got these absolutely heaping plates of like pounds of meat, and they smoked like chimneys. They of course they love their beer, and yet these guys coming out of this culture, theoretically, spiritually evolved, spiritually advanced, communicating with the dream time. Can you explain that? Can you explain that? And they're not the only ones. What about Native Americans? What about Native Americans? They if we believe the story, they were not an agricultural society. Again, they were kind of hunters and gatherers. They had plenty of buffalo. In some regions, they had elk and deer and bear and salmon. If you go up to the Pacific Northwest, in the tribes of the Pacific Northwest, some of the most, they had great diets. Fresh salmon, bear, berries, fantastic. And did these people have their third eye shut down? No, I don't think so. Yeah, I guess corn might have been involved in some of their diets, but I guarantee you it wasn't the only thing. Corn wasn't the only thing they had in their diets. And I've talked about the Inuit in northern Canada, Alaska, like way the fuck up there. What do they eat? They have a very limited diet. Very, very limited diet. And again, there's a tradition of a type of shamanism that is connected with these people. What about people in Finland? Again, very limited diet. And the Lappi culture is really profound and deep. And again, has really rich shamanic roots. So this whole idea that you have to be a vegan or a fucking vegetarian in order to have your third eye open and be spiritual is bullshit. I'm sorry, it's bullshit. Because historically and culturally, it's just been proven to be wrong. Wrong. Sorry, wrong. And you can quote chapter and verse, and anyway, I'll get off. I'll get away from this, but it just pisses me off. Because they're aggressive. They're like militant. They're militant when it comes to their diet, and I'm not telling anybody what they should eat. All right, why don't we do a little? Let's change the energy. Let's be positive. Let's have a little positive moment here, right, Jasper? Yeah. All right, here, let's do the invocation, and let's set the table. Dear blessed Holy Mother, Father God of the great central sun within the universal light, which is the light of Yeshua, Sananda, Emmanuel, and all the great avatars that have walked upon this planet, we ask that only the highest and best information, wisdom, and truth come through this channel at this time for everybody. We affirm and decree the qualities of humor and intelligence, compassion, empathy, courage, flexibility, the warmth of the human spirit, and above all, love. We ask that any karmic residue be cleansed, purified, clarified, and removed at this time. Okay, let's get going. A lot to cover today. I'll do it again because some of you guys may not have gotten the link. I'm going to throw this into the chat. I put up Sunday night show over on Vimeo right there. And there's the link to the show. If you guys want to check it out. BitChute is a mess. It is a total mess. I uploaded that show yesterday and it's still processing. Still processing. I've been looking at Gab, and I think I'm gonna have a page there at Gab. They have a Gab TV, which allows you to upload videos and create groups. When you sign up for Gab TV, you can have up to 100 groups. So I think I'm going to do that, and I think we're going to have a Chatlandia group there. And if you guys want to, you could have subgroups, and I'll create some mods over there if you're into it. And you could have subgroups. Like we could have a subgroup that has to do with homesteading, or we could have a subgroup that has to do with technology. We could have a subgroup that has to do. We could chop this stuff up. I could have 100 subgroups. We could go by region. So if you want to have regional connections, we can do that. It's got a lot of flexibility. So I think that's on the docket. Once Mercury goes direct, I'm going to set that up. I will be joining David Palmer tonight on his channel, and I think I think he records that. And some of you do subscribe to David, so I'm going to get his app and jump into that. So I'll be with David tonight, and I'm not sure. I think it might air tomorrow. I'm not sure when he edits his stuff or how that gets processed. So that'll be fun. And then David will be with me on Sunday night Astro Live. So a lot of you have asked for David to come back, and I listened, and he's great. And I totally support him and his efforts. He's done a lot of stellar work, and I'm looking forward to reconnecting with him on today and on Sunday night. Where do I want to go? Where do I want to go? Somebody sent me this video. Let me see if I can find it. Okay. Let's see if I can find this thing. Yeah, we're going to look at that. Okay, here it is, right here. Okay. So this is this video has gone viral. It's being delivered by band.video, which is Alex Jones's video service. So I'm going to play this. There's a store owner in Florida, and he is promoting, I think it's on March 1st, where everybody reopens. I like this guy a lot. It's his store, by the way. And he's confronted by guess who? A Karen. Some of you have seen this video. If you haven't, you're going to see a cliche in action. Here we go.
Against masks. I mean, I'm double shotted. I'm totally safe.
I have nothing against masks.
So just tell people to come in wearing their masks.
Come in wearing your mask.
I do. I don't need it because I've got 2 shots. But if other people are scared, I'm wearing it for them.
Well, you're allowed to wear your mask.
Yeah, but everyone thinks that you are against them.
No,
because of that sign out there.
I'm not.
Well, then clear that up. Because
okay.
Let me clear.
Let me clear. No, why do you?
because of that sign, which literally gives permission to people who can wear the mask to walk in here pretending they can't wear the mask.
No. So first of
So
all,
everyone thinks you're against them.
okay. So anybody that thinks that I'm against the mask, that's the farthest thing from the truth. Actually,
Then take that sign down.
absolutely not.
Why not?
I would never take that sign down. That sign doesn't say that we're against the masks.
Well,
it
really kind of gives permission
No, it
to
does
people
not.
to sneak in there without it on.
No.
But the law says they have to wear them.
No, the law doesn't say that.
Yeah, it does.
No, the law doesn't say that, man. With the most respect, I love that you're wearing your mask.
I don't have to.
Okay,
I'm double vaccinated.
Well,
I'm good.
then don't wear it.
I'm doing it because other people get nervous when they see people without them.
Well, that's a sad thing.
It's a sad thing.
It's a sad
and
thing.
I'm sorry to say that,
Yeah.
but I don't want to make other people
Well, I'm so
nervous.
glad that you can come here and shop with your mask on.
Yeah.
And
I
think
don't feel intimidated.
actually,
You've never done that to me.
I would never intimidate anybody.
No
I
one
believe
here
in
ever
individual
has.
liberty.
No one's ever felt intimidated coming in here with the mask on. It's all great.
Yeah.
But you need to tell the public that you're in favor of people who want
So
to
if
wear them.
if you are really afraid of the virus, then come in with a full virus suit like they wear in the
don't
virus
make a
lab.
joke of it.
That's no joke because
you're
a
making a
mask
joke
does not
now.
protect us from the virus.
Well, you're making a joke.
I'm not making a
I
joke.
think that's what people
no.
get turned off to.
I'm sorry, but if you want to, the people in the virology laboratories don't wear a mask in there because they know that they're going to get the virus. The doctors clearly said that the mask doesn't, that particles of the virus.
Here's the problem. People don't know that 99.9% of the masks in this store don't do it.
Right.
You need this.
You realize,
N95.
You realize this, thankfully under our liberties and rights, we can go to any grocery store we want. There are 42 grocery stores in Naples, right?
Absolutely have a choice.
Yeah.
But who's got the best food?
Absolutely.
We got the best. So,
But the point is, no one's wearing it correctly.
25%.
Why don't you put out a thing out there saying how to wear your mask? Because
Well, the
nobody's
masks don't
doing
work.
it.
because that's,
And they don't work.
yeah, but
maybe-
that's up to
Maybe
the
20%
individual.
if two
It's up to
people
the
are wearing it.
individual.
Working it out.
No,
It's like the orange.
My
It's either
husband's a
fresh or it's
doctor,
not.
so he's explained it all to me.
Yeah.
Two people wearing a lousy mask are better
Listen.
than somebody wearing
If-
no mask.
If someone comes in here and they're really, really afraid of bumping their head, and there's actually people that have head injuries and wear a football helmet, I have no problem with that. That's their right. I'm not going to tell them that they're not allowed to wear a football helmet in the store. I'm not going to. I'm actually thankful that they want to come in and protect themselves, and everyone can come in. And I actually had a guy come in with a full body suit in early on, and I thought that he was actually seemed like one of the most intelligent guys out there because he was at least going the extra effort, but he was protecting himself from
I
catching
won't
the
go
virus.
that far.
So, yeah, but I mean,
But,
the only reason that people are wearing the masks, if the masks really work,
This one does. If it's
well,
worn correctly.
yeah. So if the mask
That's what
mandates,
people need to know.
yeah, but
And
so,
why hasn't the government given us the proper mask?
yeah,
That's the problem.
Yeah.
No, it's not a hoax. People are dying of this.
Guess what? You're gonna die someday. I'm gonna die someday. People are dying all the
This
time.
is not a hoax. People are truly dying of it. So, it's not a hoax. It's not what they say it is. I agree with that.
Yeah. So
There is a virus. The virus is a strong flu. If you have some other health issues, you got problems. I've lost friends to it. But what they've done with this is the biggest
I have
hoax
friends
that
died
ever
of
come
a
down.
heart
the
attack. I have friends that died
Yeah,
of all
but
kinds of things.
It
But-
is killing people, not the numbers they
Do
say.
you realize 94% of the people that died of COVID, based off the CDC's webpage today, have died with other comorbidities?
I totally
29%
understand that.
Of
Because
1
the
degree.
hospitals get more money.
Hold on. 9.6% of the people that died of COVID on the CDC website were septic. Do you think that COVID killed them, or was it their
No,
body was
I
septic?
totally agree with you there because the hospitals get more money when they put that little label.
100%.
I
So
totally
94% of
get
these,
that.
94% of these
So
426,000 deaths
in
had
it,
these other
let me
illnesses.
let me just say that
So we're all saying the same thing.
yeah, but
basically.
in a real pandemic where 450,000 people would die of the pandemic, you wouldn't need 94.5%. 9.5 out of 10 people that don't die of the COVID. They die. There's a difference between what they say is causation and correlation. So causation. So let's say that half a person out of every 10 people that we've said dies of COVID really dies of COVID. Well, that's not. Then it doesn't put it into
Okay,
pandemic
that's fine,
measures.
But if a proper mask given to people actually works, it should be given. It should be worn.
But-
if it saves a half a life, I'm done.
Okay,
Good
yeah.
evening.
Have a
I
good
love
day.
your
Thank you for
store.
supporting us.
Yep,
All right, we're going
thank
to jump to the
you.
pizza.
All right. That was interesting. So yeah, it's funny how people are so caught up in the hype of you know what I'd be surprised if that woman wore the mask back in 2017 and 18 and 19 because you know obviously the chance of dying from that illness at that time is probably about the same. But it's only the fear of the media that has made her so fanatical about it, and that's the shame of it. Is the media comes on and they tell people 100 times a day, over and over and over again, they're counting the deaths. They're saying that this is that the death, and you get people that with this emotional response, and they're not making logical decisions
It's
anymore.
moronic.
So his name is Alfie Oakes, and he has a business. He's got this store. I don't know.
Thank you.
I don't know.
Thank you. We are the busiest store in all of Southwest Florida, hands down. There's no disputing it, and it's because the people have made the choice to come and support us. Because we're taking that stand, I want to put together an initiative called Bold Business Owners for Liberty, and I want every business owner in this country on March 1st to open up their businesses. And it doesn't matter which municipality, which state, which county you live in, and what their policies are. We are all protected under the same rights of the Constitution, our God-given rights. For them to tell us that someone has to wear a mask in your store, or that you're not allowed to be open, or that you're not essential, or that you don't have a right to earn a living for you and your family, that's insanity. I'm willing to lay it all on the line. I've built my business up to an amazing business, 3,200 employees, and I'm willing to put it all on the line. And I'm asking every business owner out there, this is the time right now. If not now, then when? And if not who? If not, who's going to do it? We have to do it. We the people have to take our stance right now.
So there you go. Alfie Oakes. And he is urging business owners to open their businesses back up on March 1st. Berkeley goes direct. I think it'll be direct by then. I think it's what we need. We need a world where we're opened back up. We are in World War III. We are in World War III. It's silent weapons for quiet war. And of course, this deadly terror, which has been unleashed amongst us, is the latest chapter in the war on, right? We had the war on poverty. We had the war on drugs, the war on terror. Now we have the war on humans, really. It's supposed to be a war against this deadly virus. But it's really a war on, let's call it for what it is. Let's say it for what it is. It's a war on humanity. That's what it is. And we are in World War III. So this is fourth and fifth generational warfare, and people need to understand that. That woman was a trip. She, on some level, she got it. But on another level, it was like, I don't really care if I get it. I don't care if I agree with you. I don't care if those things are true. I'm going to wear this mask because it's going to make somebody else feel better. It's going to put them at ease. And I've talked about this before. This is where people are looking for purpose. We're looking for purpose and meaning in their life, and this thing has given them that. And then, of course, she wants to, blame the government. Let's blame somebody. Let's blame the government. They're not giving us the right masks. It's their fault. It's their fault. So there you go. There's an American. There's a real American. This guy loves America. He loves the country. He's got his buddies there supporting. And look, the store was doing a vibrant business, and there were masked people and unmasked people, and he doesn't really care. You want to wear the mask, fine, but he's not going to make it mandatory. And she's protected, right? She's protected by wearing that mask. So what's the big deal with her? She's safe. Anyway, that's just one thing that we're obviously going through. The other thing is this weather stuff. Again, silent weapons for a quiet war. And now the climate changers they're demanding that we embrace this Green New Deal. Like, this is going to solve these issues where, you know, the entire middle part of the country, flyover, which, by the way, supported DJT, and this massive storm really began to take effect after the acquittal for the impeachment. Isn't that interesting, timing-wise? So here in Texas, we have 25% of our power connected to these wind turbines, and they're frozen. They don't work. How do you reconcile that? Like, if you're somebody who is a Green New Deal person, and these wind turbines are going to be a linchpin for this new green economy, along with solar, because where else are you going to get the energy from? And they're not working because they're non-functional. They can't handle the quote-unquote climate change. Then what the fuck good are they for? And by the way, disposing of those blades is brutal. I mean, there are thousands upon thousands of these used blades that they've had to decommission, and they don't break down. They just bury them somewhere. And it does, you know, if you're a climate change person, what do? Well, you just look the other way. Well, we'll get better at it. We'll make better blades. They'll last longer. We'll make them out of algae or something. But it's not just the turbines that are having a really, really hard time. Let me show you what's going on in Germany. What is this thing? I've got all these. Here, let me go to my Twitter page because I know it's there. We're going to talk about Cuomo too. We are definitely going to talk about Cuomo. Yeah, so this is what I wrote, and I got a like and a couple of. Did I get a retweet? Yes, I got one retweet. I said, people crying for a new Green Deal are obsessed by ideology. Texas has 25% of its power come from wind turbines, and they're frozen over. Germany's massive solar farms are covered in ice, rendering both ineffective. So let me show you this article. This is from World News ERA. I'm not familiar with this site, but the content is credible. Germany's green energy failure. Germany turns back to coal and natural gas as millions of its solar panels are blanketed in snow and ice. There you go. What are they going to say? Oh, you know what we need? We need a squadron of drones with UV lights underneath to fly back and forth over the panels so we can keep them operable. I bet that would be a solution. Or another solution would be, well, all the people that need jobs, they could be out there wiping them down. Energiewende, or Energiewende, is a German word for energy transition. We don't need that right now, thank you. Energiewende is a policy launched by the German government in 2000 to decarbonize its primary energy supply. Depending on whom you ask, the program has been praised by Many environmentalists and others called it a failure. In 2000, when the program was first launched, 6.6% of Germany's electricity came from renewable sources such as solar and wind. In 2019, almost 2 decades later, the share reached 41.1%. That's almost half of their energy. That's where the good news ends. In 2000, Germany had installed capacity of 121 gigawatts with 577 terawatt hours generated, which is 54% as much as it theoretically could have done. That is 54% was its capacity factor. But in 2019, the country only produced a meager 5%. That's not all. This year, the coldest weather in a decade arrives in Western Europe. Bitter cold and snow sweep across Western Europe, including Germany, Great Britain, and France. Germany faces a sober reality as millions of its solar panels are blanketed in snow and ice and breathless. The freezing weather has rendered its 30,000 wind turbines to idleness. It is not just the wind turbines. Solar panels covered with snow are also rendered useless. You may call it cold comfort, as a total collapse in the wind and solar output leaves freezing Germans desperate for coal-fired power. So there you go. This is from 5 days ago, so this is current news. Green energy is idealistically, theoretically, a nice idea. But let's face it, in conditions like this, it doesn't work. It just doesn't work. And if this state, Texas, which is connected to a nationwide power grid, if this state had 25% of its energy coming from non-renewable sources, we wouldn't be having rolling blackouts. Greg Abbott wouldn't have to deploy the state National Guard. Other states would probably be able to use some of our excess energy. And that's a fact. But because it is something in somebody's district somewhere, along with the state that says, look what we're doing. We've got 25% of our energy dedicated to solar. We're doing our share. Pat themselves on the back. And it's not working. And yet, they're going to say, they being the climate change alarmists, they're going to say that this is an issue, and the way that you deal with the issue is you actually go deeper into it. Decarbonize more. Double down, double down, double down. And it's not working. It's not working. It's the same ideology that says, well, nobody's really done socialism right. Nobody's done it right. That's why it hasn't worked. Nobody's done it right. Well, it will never work because there really is no right way. It is antithetical to the human spirit, although I will say that they have done a tremendous job in socially engineering that spirit and turning that spirit of innovation and novelty and commitment and dedication and hard work when it's at its sort of highest and best levels. They've done a tremendous job in reversing that and inverting that and having people like Supermarket Karen blame the government. So, how are they doing this? Well, they're doing this right now. Well, they've been doing it through the long march of the cultural institutions and infiltrating the universities, which they've done a tremendous job at doing. James Lindsay and even Jordan Peterson have addressed this in a pretty few. By the way, James Lindsay and Jordan Peterson, they're both Geminis, so they're really good at seeing the other side of this thing, whatever the thing is. and then articulating it. I mean, this is where Geminis really excel. They're fantastic at articulating the other. They're tremendous. Both Peterson and James Lindsay have their, how do we say this? Their ideological shortcomings. Like they will only go so far. And then after that, they sort of stop. And maybe I'll do a show about that once Mercury goes direct. I don't want to talk about it when it's retrograde. But they're good. They're good at sort of naming this thing from an educational, intellectual, and idea perspective. I think they're two of the best. And particularly Jordan Peterson, pre-medically induced coma. I think James Lindsay probably has pulled ahead a little bit of Jordan Peterson. But they're still both very, very good. But they've taken the ideology and they've made it sort of de rigueur in the university system, and using postmodernism as this template in which they can build all these other ideologies. And postmodernism is really cool and intellectually stimulating, and kind of once you understand the contours of postmodernism, you feel like you're really smart and you really have a toolkit that other people don't have. And there are some mildly interesting things about postmodernism, but it is not the catechism for understanding the postmodern world. So let's look at some of the other ways that they're theoretically programming us, or trying to program the masses. Let me show you this. If you haven't seen this, this is ridiculous. This is from Clay Travis's site, outkick.com. I like Clay Travis for the most part, except he's way, way uninformed about So here we go. This is from Outkick. New trend, Fauci tells you to dump your boyfriend, girlfriend if not taking COVID seriously. Here we go. Here we go. This is the Hierophant, the high priest of the COVID cult. Cat guys can't get a woman. That's not really true. And guys not taking COVID seriously enough can't keep one. Fauci, a new trend in the dating world, is causing people to break up with their boyfriend, girlfriend for not taking COVID as seriously as Dr. Anthony Fauci suggests. Cutting off a relationship if you think that the other person is serious enough about social distancing and taking the pandemic seriously is how the trend was recently explained. The dating app Plenty of Fish, is that thing still around? Put Fauci on its annual list of the top dating trends to expect in the new year. The phenomenon is real, so start caring. That's not all. The list also includes masquerading, where a boyfriend, girlfriend only pretends to care about mask wearing to date someone. While I don't doubt this is happening, and likely daily, have we not all faked caring about something just to date a certain person at least once? Kind of. I would say kind of. A certain somebody who watches this show occasionally, whom I met not long ago, actually 2 years ago, said to me, "What do you think about Beto? What do you think about Beto?" And I'm like, I'm not going to tell you what I think about Beto because I think you're kind of interesting. So I didn't pretend to care about Beto, but I also didn't feed the Beto beast. I think I walked that line. I think I had a Johnny Cash moment. While I don't doubt this is happening, and likely daily, have we not all fake caring about something to date a certain person at least once? For those saying no, is your partner sitting next to you reading this story? Well, Jasper's actually on my chair now. Advice, don't dig too deep into what your boyfriend, girlfriend cares about. It has been a big day for Fauci, who for some reason is on TV with Chuck Todd every week. In addition to getting his name on a list of reasons why people are forced to change their relationship status on Facebook, Fauci won a $1 million award for defending science and speaking truth to power. Dream big, aspire to be Dr. Fauci, and don't get dumped. Can you believe that this is an actual thing? I can. Because people are being socially engineered. And this is just the latest version. This is just the latest iteration, the latest chapter of their social engineering. This has been going on for a while now. And like it or not, Trump has played a huge role in this because, he's very polarizing, extremely polarizing. So there are people who have been polarized as a result. Isn't that interesting? We're dealing with this kind of polar vortex stuff, which is really, in a lot of ways, continuing to polarize us in a lot of ways. Polarizing even how we deal with the environment or the climate or energy. It just keeps happening. True Note in Gemini, it just keeps happening. Let me show you one of the unfortunate outcomes of this programming. Let me show you. Let me show you this. This is from California, and this is a health inspector who does a happy dance after a brewery in Southern California is shut down. This thing is. I'll play this for you. Here it is. Watch. Health inspector does happy dance moments after ordering SoCal brewery to close. The health inspector named Jatinder Chabra, 2 H's, that's impressive, did a happy dance moments after ordering a brewery already struggling because of COVID lockdowns in Southern California to close. The brown-shirt health inspectors are drunk on power and won't stop until the American people say enough. Jatinder Chabra waltzed into Bravery Brewing Company in Lancaster. Isn't that where that mayor is? Who has his other residence, I think, where in La Jolla or someplace like that. A high desert city in northern Los Angeles County last weekend and told the owners to close up shop. Bravery Brewing Company doesn't have TVs, so they set up Super Bowl Sundays with limited hours so customers can take the freshly brewed beer home with them. They don't have TVs because they won't allow them. You cannot have a TV in a restaurant or a bar in California. Chabra ordered the brewery to close down because they didn't pay hundreds of dollars to food trucks to come by, a new requirement because of COVID. The brewery employee argued with Chabra and told her that they were only doing takeout, but she arrogantly told them to shut down immediately. The employee put the brewer, Brian Avery, on the phone with Chabra, and he told her to call her supervisor. The supervisor told Chabra she was in the wrong, however. She wasn't done bullying the brewery just yet. According to the Federalist, Chabra made the brewery employee make copies of 11 forms while customers stood there to be served, waiting to be served. Chabra rifled through racks, inspected bar tools, and danced, all the while customers were waiting for the issue to be resolved. So shall we watch your little performance here? Here we go. And she's tapping her foot. She's clapping. Does she have a Bollywood track in her head? Is that what's going on here? Now she's busting out the moves. Look at her. She's so happy. Look at that. That's her happy dance. She shut the place down. You know what's interesting about people like this is that they're going to experience something unfortunate. And I'm not cursing this person. I'm not wishing any unfortunate event to befall them. I just know how the universe works. She will experience something unfortunate, and she will not be able to connect the dots. She will not be able to connect the dots. Joyously dancing, taking glee in somebody else's misfortune is, I think, an unpardonable. And I mean, like, we all do it. We all have a little schadenfreude. Okay, I do it too. But this is affecting this person's livelihood, the livelihood of the employees. It's actually subtracting from the quality of life, the people who do enjoy a nice beer. I mean, look, I think we know why. I think we know why this is happening. The guy's got an old bomb for a light. He's got an American flag here. He's got images of, looks like, fighter jets over here. Clearly, there's a theme. Now, if this was Rainbow Unicorn Brewery, I don't think she'd be doing the same thing. If this was Rainbow Unicorn Brewery, I think that she'd be in there throwing a few back. But look at the imagery. Look at the imagery. It's intentional. But people don't understand this when they are impacting people's lives, and they're impacting them in a way where they're taking really great pleasure in it. We're in serious trouble as a culture. This is not about being positive. It's not about uplifting one another. It's not about, I am my own brother's keeper. I mean, it's not about any of that. It's about destruction, and it's about denigration. And these are an affront against the creative impulse of man and woman. This is who we are. This is what we do. We are a creator and a creative race of humans. When you do things like that, it's really a sin against creation. And something will happen to that person, I guarantee you. And she won't be able to connect the dots. She'll see herself as a victim, that something happened to her, and she'll reach out for, all the support and sympathy. And of course, there will be any number of groups that will be willing to give it, but she won't be able to connect the dots. How many times has that ever happened to you in your life? I know it's happened to me. It's like, oh yeah, I can see why this is happening now. Yeah, I get it. And it takes a while, but obviously at some point you figure it out. Because it's interesting because we live in a panoptical society, and we're pretty much always being watched. Like, I'm sure there are entities online that are watching this. There's an algorithm that's going through YouTube right now, listening to my speech. I mean, this happens. This is happening. You got your cell phone, like, forget any kind of privacy on your cell phone. There are cameras everywhere. So we're always being watched on that level. But there's another level of being witnessed and observed on a spiritual level that is always taking place. That's always going on. And you cannot hide from it. Can't hide from it. Because we have to all be accountable for who we are and what we do at a certain point in time. And that time is here now. And if you're not aware of that, well, you better get up to speed. And the people that aren't aware of it, like Ms. Chabra, I'm not sure they'll ever be aware of it unless something absolutely, utterly tragic befalls them and really cracks them wide open. Really cracks them open. In which case, maybe in that moment in time, they may be able to let something in. And it's unfortunate it has to come to that, but sometimes it happens. I've been there. We get really ensconced in our behavior and our patterns and our predispositions. And it's only when the thunder crack hits our lives that we can become open to a different way of seeing, a different way of being, a different way of doing things. So there we go. There's your kind of headline stories of today. That said, there's always a tonic for the troops. And I am providing you with one as we begin to wind down today's show, the 16th of February. And it is another track by Tom MacDonald. You know why I love playing Tom MacDonald? He doesn't belong to a major label, so I can play his music. And I don't have to get a copyright strike. Tom MacDonald, you'll hear it in this song, does everything himself. He writes his own lyrics, he makes his own beats. His girlfriend produces all of his own videos. They run all their own merch. He's totally independent. He turned down deals from record companies. He got taken off. I think he got taken off of Spotify. Apple took him down, but then they put him back up. And it was the takedown by Apple that prompted this Tom MacDonald track. So I'm going to play it, come back, and then we'll all give each other a hug and try to stay warm here. Okay, here we go. Tom MacDonald. And the name of the track is, guess what? Canceled. Canceled. And this guy turned this thing around in like record time.
I can't be canceled, there's no way that you can stop me. I'm fully independent, there's no label who can drop me. Y'all been starting rumors, let me help you with some. Yeah.
He's a racist, he's a sexist, he's in love with Donald Trump.
Y'all can't cancel me, my life is scandal free. There ain't no sponsors taking losses cause the brand is me. My hands are clean, my family and my fans agree. Y'all can't cancel me for facts because you're mad and weak. Go ahead and tell the world I'm ugly and racist. I braid my hair and I don't care about cultural appropriation. I moved to the ghetto, lived in the ghetto, there's no Caucasians. And still I loved every single one of my neighbors. How's a man say I'm clickbait if he gonna use this face to get clicks on his page? Y'all hypocrites are made. But I ain't tripping about these bullies, it ain't 6th grade. Go ahead and diss me trying to sell a couple mixtapes. I'm not afraid, take my face and my name, paste it on the front page. I'm already famous and you'll never change it by hating or claiming you'll take it away. My grind wicked, write my rhymes different. You can try to quantify, define limits as a dying gimmick and denying winning. This is pure fire, this ain't white privilege. I do what I want, get all the Gucci and Louis Vuitton out of my closet, out of my crib. I do not want it, that is for kids, that is for rappers who ask you to produce their beats for free, pretending online like they rich. I am not playing it safe, I said what I said, it is what it is.
I don't care if you mad at me, okay? Go ahead and change the channel. Don't waste your time trying to cancel me, okay? They love me cause they know that I'm it. Say what you want, I guess it is what it is. Haters can talk, but they can't cancel the kid. Go ahead and go off, try and say this is it. But I swear to God, you can't cancel the kid.
Everybody knows my name, from local folks to global fame. I'm vocal about the social justice movements. I expose the fakes, turn rappers into ghosts and graves. Make no mistake, they bones will break. I'll throw them in the wolf enclosure, slowly turn and close the cage. Acres full of sheep, you know that I'm the only goat. I'm great, they spoke my name to mostly hate. I don't complain, I'm woke, I wait. A total focus soldier, wrote the art of war. Know every page, I'm numb to all the dumbness. Smoke tobacco laced with Novocaine. I won't behave, I stoke the flames. I'll choke their throats with golden chains. Use vocal cords as skipping ropes and jump till I am soaked in brains. From open plains to coastal waves to solar rays in open space. Can't find nobody dope unless you poke your veins and snort cocaine. Whoa, Y'all can't cancel me. Just get mad that I'm the man until you smash the screen. Like, whoa, I can handle heat. I walk through hell in open sandals, drinking gasoline. Yeah, I could have been a star, could have had a mansion and a car, and a Grammy album on the charts. I'm a savage, Randy with the bars. I don't rap about Xanax, goddamn it, can't cancel facts. We need answers, championing trash to the masses actually massively damages, y'all. Keep trying to cancel me, y'all. I own the masters, so y'all. I make the beats, I write the songs, I own the cameras, y'all. I could have been famous, dumb my music down till it's basic. Get it on the hottest Spotify playlist, modify my catalog and go mainstream, y'all.
I don't care if you mad at me, okay? Go ahead and change the channel. Don't waste your time trying to cancel me, okay? They love me cause they know that I'm it. Say what you want, I guess it is what it is. Haters can talk, but they can't cancel the kid. Go ahead and go off, try and say this is it. But I swear to God, you can cancel the kid.
I feel like all these rappers lately on a mission. They starting drama, they don't really want no problems, so they talk in whispers. Don't even start, no competition, y'all are finished. They say they feeling froggy, but I bet none of these frogs gon' rib it. They think I'm soft, but I promise y'all that I'm solid like a rock inside a Teflon box and dipped in carbon fiber liquid. I'm not religious, but I walk with Christians. If Jesus died for all my sins, he'd need 1,000,000 crosses tall as buildings. Y'all can't cancel me. I'm a god and you're the devil, stop attacking me. Like, whoa, nails in my hands and feet. Y'all some snakes, I don't need fruit from that apple tree. I ain't doing features or buying beats. I'm a wolf, I don't lie with sheep. I am what I am, and I can't hide my teeth. Way too many rumors, I'm like, who said it? Never met him. If he dissed me, probably about to drop a new record. I do what I want, no matter if I get approval or not. Y'all ain't gonna cyberbully me or try to push on me until I'm becoming some dude who I'm not. Head full of ludicrous thoughts, producing the songs. My music is truth and you brutally shocked. I'm shooting my shot, I'm Biggie, I'm Shady, I'm new school Pac. Go ahead and call me a piece of garbage, make a starving artist your primary target. I'm the largest monster in the farthest darkness, I'm a closet sharpened, I'm an army sergeant. If people wanna hate, then I'm grateful. It's only gonna make what I say less painful. Look at my face, embrace, I'm unstable. I ain't gonna break or shake or feel shameful.
I don't care if you mad at me, okay? Go ahead and change the channel. Don't waste your time trying to cancel me, okay? They love me cause they know that I'm it. Say what you want, I guess it is what it is. Haters can talk, but they can't cancel the kid. Go ahead and go off, try and say this is it. But I swear to God, you can cancel the kid.
So Nova Rockefeller is his girlfriend. Looks like he's on Spotify. So Spotify didn't cancel him. Way to go, Tom McDonald. Keep it going. Speaking truth to power. Taking a phrase out of the lefty playbook. Hold on one second. I got fake woke queued up there in the background. Oh, I need to talk about Cuomo before we go. That would have been a good thing to transition out of on. But I got to talk about Cuomo because he's in hot water. The dude is in hot water. And I'm going to show you astrologically where he's at right now. And I don't think he's going to make it through this. So I have his chart up here. And Cuomo is a Sagittarius, and he has that Sun-Saturn conjunction. He was born on a full moon, Gemini. So he and Trump are mirror opposites. Trump is Sun in Gemini, born on an eclipsed full moon in Sagittarius. So these two, I would love to see Cuomo and Trump together in the same room. The universe might implode. Anyway, so here's the true node right down here. It's going to say median node, but let's just call it the true node for shits and giggles. Here's a difference between the two. I don't want to get into it right now. But if the true node is here, which is going to be transit-wise at 16 Gemini, well, where is it going? Well, it's going backwards. So it's getting ready to conjunct his sun. That's the south node, not the true node, the south node. And the south node is on Saturn right now in his chart. And that is an incredibly vulnerable position for Andrew Cuomo. And what is Saturn? Saturn is things like aging. Saturn represents Capricorn. It's the ruling planet. But when you have Saturn in Sagittarius, it can be really authoritarian when it comes to law. And I think Cuomo's in trouble here. Astrologically, over the course of the next week, that like if he somehow makes it through this, and there's a chance he might, he is still going to have to deal with ultimately that south node conjuncting Mars and Scorpio, which has to deal with what? Death, right? Death. Now, this is not his chart. I mean, they don't know the time of birth here. But Mars and Scorpio, Scorpio is a sign that is connected with death in the underworld. And he's going to have the south node eventually hit that Mars. And guess what? He's got a square with Uranus. So justice is imminent for Mr. Cuomo. It's either going to happen now or it's going to happen later. And I think the impact of later will be predicated upon what happens or what doesn't happen now. So he's on the clock astrologically. Keep an eye out for that. All right. I'm out of here. Everybody stay warm out there. You can help out your little four-leggeds and two-leggeds. It's always a cool thing to do. Don't let them cancel you. You're not cancelable. You can't cancel something that is eternal and infinite. Remember that. Use your head in order to discern what's real, your heart too, simple as possible. I'm Robert Phoenix. I'll be back tomorrow. In the meantime, you may want to check out David Palmer's app, High Vibe TV. I think you can get it on the App Store. So you may want to check that out. I'll be working with him tonight, and I think it'll be available on his app over the course of the next couple of days. I'll keep you posted. All right, bye for now. Chatlandia, you're the best. Take care. See you tomorrow.